Hello and welcome to another episode of Pixel Narratives with ANUTOSH. In our episode today, we have with us Dr. Simanta Kalita, who is a doctorate in science and is a certified environment, social and governance ESG professional accredited by the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. On behalf of Pixel Narratives with ANUTOSH and AFTA, I welcome you, sir.
Namaskar.
Namaskar. And it's such a wonderful feeling that finally I could invite someone from the environment who is working for the betterment of the environment.
It's my pleasure to be part of Pixel Narratives.
I want to begin with your beginning. How you started, how was your school days, from where you have come to this place, because what people would see is your achievement and where you are today, but what they don't see is how much pain or how much efforts you have put in your life to come up to this place. So my viewers would definitely be very happy to hear how you have come to this position.
Well, the journey started in a very small place called Gwalpara. I was born in Gwalpara and my schooling was there only. Coming from a lower middle class family, my father used to be a small businessman.
Okay.
And mother was a housewife. And then we were three siblings, me, my sister and my brother. We all grew up together. And after schooling, then my grandfather decided that you should go for higher education to Guwahati. So that's how, with his decision, I made a move. I did my first college education in Pandu College.
You were also from Pandu College?
Yes.
I am also an alumni of Pandu College.
It's a pleasure.
But I stayed for a very short period of time, for 2 years.
Okay.
I did my pre-university there and then I moved out to Baroda.
My graduation was from Pandu College, so that was 3 years. And after that, I did my master's from Guwahati University.
No, and the reason why we went to Pandu College is because it was the only English medium college
Right.
in Guwahati that time.
Right.
And we had our Dr. Sharma, who was our principal at that time.
Right, Praveen Sharma sir.
Praveen Sharma.
He was the principal during our time also.
And maybe we were at the same time we were there. And how did you get into the environment related activities and innovations that you have done different? Because you started your career as a lecturer in Handique College.
Right.
And then you moved on to Barooah College and then to Vidyapeeth.
Right. Right.
So, what change that has happened in your?
If you look at my childhood, leadership was something which was inborn.
Okay.
So I was the class captain right from my lower primary school days.
Okay.
And then during the higher classes in class 9 and 10, I became the school captain. And then that was one of the reasons why my grandfather decided that now you should go out of this place, otherwise you will become a political leader and not something else. So that was there. And then when I was in the university classes, I became a member of a nature club called Aranyak. Now Aranyak is a big international organization. They're still associated with Aranyak. But Aranyak is the main seed, I would say, that was stored inside us, and Aranyak lives in our heart because of that involvement as a volunteer right from our school time, university time. And then after university, I was briefly working in some projects with some science society. That was another motivation.
Okay.
Then I was working in a NBHGR fisheries project. That was also a brief duration. And then I got an opportunity to serve in a leave vacancy in Handique Girls College.
Okay.
So,
and you also were the head of the Northeastern India operations for Center for Environmental Education, CE.
Right.
And you managed the GEF-UNDP Small Grants Programme.
Yes.
for 12 years.
Yes.
Will you share your...
So, CE, like in our school days in class 9 social studies textbook, we used to read about different national institutions in the social sector and environment sector, which included UNEP, UNDP, Center for Environment Education, WWF, and all those big names. So it was like a aspiration to sometime work with those kind of organization. So once I started my career in the college, of course, that was a wonderful journey. Working with students is always lovely. And then I got an opportunity to work with Assam Science, Technology and Environment Council. So there I got an opportunity to get involved in the school Eco Club program, because Science Technology Council was the nodal agency for the school Eco Club program. So I was working with them. And before that, as a Arya member, of course, I got opportunity to work in different other environmental initiative. And during those times of Arya and Science Technology Council, Center for Environment Education called me as a resource person to some of their programs.
Okay.
So my journey with CE was not as an employee. Initially, it was as a resource person.
You were a resource person.
And then we wrote a book for them.
Okay.
And like then I saw an vacancy. I applied for it. The vacancy was in Ahmedabad actually. So I applied for it. The first question which was asked to me is like, how do you know CE?
Okay.
And I was carrying the book which we had written for CE. I said, I am an author of your book. So, that was probably the ultimate question of that interview. And then after that, not much was asked.
And your innovation for that hand washing station for the midday meals.
While working with CE, we realized like if we have to protect environment, we have to create the next generation of a cadre or volunteer who can actually vouch for environment. So we started working closely with schools on different environmental issues, water and sanitation being one of the major issue. And on one occasion, I remember I was traveling, or we were actually for visiting some of the schools in the Rani block in Kamrup district. And there was a big debate going on in the school management committee meeting.
Okay.
And the parents were blaming the head teacher.
Okay.
So I just tried to intervene and ask them what is the issue. So they said this gentleman, although looks like a gentleman or seemingly a gentleman, he is doing some adulteration in the in the midday meal food, and our children are falling ill. And then I tried to I visited some of the households, what kind of water they are using, and we saw that although they have the water provided by the government, but their handling of water, the practices of water handling was not hygienic.
Okay.
Also in the school, we noticed that the school had only one hand washing station.
Okay.
I mean, it was basically a hand pump. And you can imagine a school of 300 students having only one hand pump.
Okay.
And the midday meal break was only for 40 minutes.
Okay.
In 40 minutes, 300 children have to wash their hand and then come for the midday meal, finish their meal, and then go to class.
Okay.
So they had no time for actually the break. So no time to play. The children are always play loving, right? So they were skipping the hand washing.
Okay.
Straight away going to the midday meal. So without washing hand, if you are taking meal, so it was obvious.
And then
so that triggered actually.
You started your designs for hand washing, which were then upscaled by the Ministry of Education.
Yes, we were working closely with
Swachh Vidyalaya.
We were working closely with the Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan in Assam and UNICEF. So,
and for your contribution in this social innovation, you were honored with the National Social Innovation Award by Niti Aayog and the Ministry of External Affairs in 2016.
Yes.
So that is a big achievement, I would say, because you have Again,
It was,
coming back,
it was because of the team actually.
Actually, no, definitely somebody has to lead the team, but what your father had thought that if you study here, you become a leader, and that actually proves so. Because you have initiated something that made a lot of change in the life of the small children. And as a part of the government program, Swachh Bharat, that itself is a big contribution as an innovation. And you have been a resource person in all the higher, the educational institutions of higher learning, IIM, IIT, and the Indian Institute of Entrepreneurship, then the Administrative Staff College, and a lot of other government, workshops and conferences. And presently, you are the CEO of AIC Selco Foundation.
Right.
So my viewers would definitely like to hear about what your foundation actually contributes in the society.
Like Selco Foundation, let me share like the Selco family as a whole.
Okay.
Selco India is a for-profit entity, but it's basically like promoting solar-based technologies across India. And Selco Foundation is the not-for-profit wing of the Selco family. And Selco Foundation was started basically because we realized that although solar technology is needed, solar can actually reduce carbon emission. Solar can actually promote livelihood in the nook and corner of the country where the grid power has not reached. But somehow people are not in a position to afford it because of its costly technologies. So Selco Foundation started to play the role of an enabler. Okay. And at certain point of time when it started working in remote geographies like Assam or other northeastern states, Jharkhand, Odisha, the northern Karnataka, all these difficult areas which are very remote from the mainstream India, Selco realized that we need more technologies actually to push the whole ecosystem, because even if people want to adopt something, the technology itself is not available. Okay. So then Selco Foundation teamed up with Atal Innovation Mission to form an incubation center called AIC Selco Foundation, Atal Incubation Center, AIC. It's supported by Atal Innovation Mission of NITI Aayog, and Selco Foundation is hosting it. And primarily we try to support entrepreneurs and innovators who are into the solar domain. So they innovate such kind of technologies which can be powered by solar power and can actually generate livelihood at the grassroots level for the bottom of the economic pyramid people. So that is the basic fundamental idea. And with that idea, we have been working since 2020, and we have so far incubated 90 enterprises from across the geography of Northeast. 5 states we have already covered, and 28 of those enterprises have already graduated out from our incubation program. They are doing their own independent business. And
coming to the solar energy, the utility of solar energy, what we find is in the places in the western part of India, you have a lot of solar, lights and everything. But in the northeast, do you think that we have some, because the geographical condition is such that we have limited resources of solar thing? Is it something like that?
Yeah, the difference is there because the local ecosystem has not grown properly. One is locally, not many industries are here who are manufacturing solar equipment,
and that's why it is very expensive.
So you have to import it from Bangalore or Gurgaon or place like that where it is being manufactured. So that transportation cost is an additional cost. Transportation in Northeast itself is a challenge because of all the geographical barriers. So if you have to send something from this place Guwahati to North Guwahati, you have to go through Jalukbari.
Yes.
So whereas the aerial distance is hardly 3 kilometer, the road distance is about 30 kilometers. So that's how you increase the travel cost. And because of the transportation cost, the equipments become expensive. So people can't afford it. And the banking ecosystem or the investment ecosystem has not matured here. So people are not willing to give loan. There are baggages from the past also, not for solar, but for other reason. Probably the same bank has given loan and people have not repaid, and because of those baggages also many banking institution or the financial institutions are reluctant to give funding support. Because of all these factors, the ecosystem is still at a growing stage. Also, like if you buy something, suppose if you look at some of the government scheme, government has provided agricultural equipments to many farmers. But once that equipment goes into a dysfunctional state, they don't get the after sale service because the local manufacturers are not there, even a trained team is not there. So that's how, as an incubation center, our focus is right from the beginning, equip our incubators in such a way so that they don't not only manufacture the machine, they also prepare a team for the after sale service. That's very, very critical.
So, my viewers must have come to know about Dr. Simanta Kalita, the kind of work he does, but this is what people see him in public. But there is a different Dr. Simanta Kalita who has a passion to follow. He is a wonderful, very enthusiastic photographer. So now I would request you, sir, please share with my viewers your photographic journey and how the photography today and the kind of photography that you have done in your early days, and please share that. And what is your special area of photography?
Like photography journey started at the age of 12 when I was
Okay.
in class 7. Like it was my auntie's marriage, and one of my uncle, my father's cousin, he bought a new Yasica camera.
Okay.
And during those days in marriages, either you have to hire a photographer, a professional photographer, or you go without any photographer.
Okay.
Because there was no camera with the public, particularly in small places like Gwalpara, where I come
Okay.
from.
Okay.
So that was the only camera available. And because the owner of the camera, my uncle, he was busy. So he was kind of experimenting with all our cousins who can take a better photograph.
Okay.
And I had no training. I just tried my hand. He somehow liked my photography. He said, okay, you handle it. But be careful, don't let it fall. So that was the first like assignment, you can say, unpaid assignment.
Okay.
And those days it was all like film rolls. You have to push the roll, and there are 35 copies. Sometimes you had like get 36
So you
or 37.
were using that Yashica Electro 35.
Could be, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't remember.
that was the
exactly
most
remember.
popular camera that
I
time.
don't exactly remember the name, but then
Yeah.
probably brand was Yasica.
Yashica. Yeah, that was the most common. and the most-
Later on, like when I came to Guwahati for my higher studies, I was staying with my uncle, the same aunt's husband, like the auntie who got married on that occasion. So he had an
Okay.
Akfa click or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So and he was not using it.
Okay.
He was not using it. The camera was lying inside the cupboard. So I just asked him, "Can I use it?" He said it's a very costly hobby,
It is.
not good for student. I said, no, I want to learn.
Okay.
I did one round during auntie's marriage, but that was just the one round, and then
Okay.
like you can't really rely on that. So you have to, if you have to fine tune your hand, then you need to practice. So with all my pocket money, I used to buy rolls. This college studio was the hub for us during that time. There were not many other studios during those days. So I used to go there, buy the roll, and then after the photography round is done, then I used to hand over the camera to them. They themselves take out the roll, put a new roll, and then the development is done. So that was the second step. Some photographs gradually coming good. Then with time, when I entered into my post graduation, fortunately one of our professor, he used to be a very good microscopic photographer. Macro, yeah.
Okay.
He had a macro adapter. He had a SLR camera, and he used to take microscopic slide photographs.
Okay.
And he also had developed a black room in dark room in the department itself.
Okay.
So I learned how to develop, how to use those chemicals and everything from sir. So that was one step further. And then when I got my first job in Handique Girls College, with the first salary I bought one SLR camera.
Okay. Which was that one?
That was Vivitar. Because with
Vivitar
the
2000.
small amount of salary I got, Vivitar was the only one I could afford.
Yeah,
So
that was a very popular camera. Actually, Vivitar is a company that usually makes the lenses.
right.
But they ventured with that only camera, Vivitar 2000. I think that was the model at that time.
Could be, yeah.
And black body.
Yes.
It was a good. And yes. And now what you do?
Now I am more into wildlife photography.
Okay.
Because I did my studies on animal. So being a zoology postgraduate, also being connected with Arya and CE and other environmental organization, I often get opportunity to go to the wildlife areas.
Okay.
Kaziranga, Pubitura, Manas. These are like almost every year 3-4 times
Yes.
I get an opportunity to visit. So I carry the camera with me, try to capture all the moments which I like, and I don't share much in social media. Some of the photographs initially I used to share. One or two exhibition I initially participated, but nowadays not into that publicity mode.
No, and do you see any differences when you started photography and the kind of photography that is being done today?
A lot, because when we started photography, the photography was the heart of it.
Exactly.
You have a camera, whatever camera it is, you must know the skill,
Yes.
then only you can get a good photograph.
Yes.
Your exposure has to be perfect, your composition has to be perfect. After developing, only you will come to know whether the exposure is good or not, whether the focus is proper or not. So all those automatic things were not there now at that
Yes,
point of
yes.
time. Now with the DSLRs, everything has become automatic. You put it in the auto mode and anybody can be a photographer.
Exactly, and-
Also, like once you transfer the photo from the camera to a laptop, you have got n number of softwares to enhance it. Enhance probably would not be the right way to do it.
Yeah, to you,
Many
you
people
know,
even manipulate.
Mostly it is manipulation.
So-
but then when you want to participate in some kind of an international photography competition, they mention clearly they needs the raw file.
Yes, yes.
They do not accept any photographs because nowadays everything is online.
Exactly.
And they look for raw files without any modification.
Right.
And they allow up to 10% of contrast and brightness.
That is
Only
okay.
that is allowed.
That is okay.
And nothing else. No composition, nothing, no framing.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of difference. Okay. And at the school level, how do you think that we should carry this photography and environment related awareness in the school? So at the school level, it is the best place where we can start.
Absolutely.
Encouraging
Absolutely.
students, they should know that yes, we have a wonderful resource. Now, how do we maintain that resource and how do we keep that resource? They should understand that.
Yeah.
And then, yes, photography is a very costly hobby even today. It was during your time or my time when we started, it was also expensive that time. Now it is also the same.
Yeah.
It is the most expensive hobby that anybody has ever wished to do. And you are right that most of the photography that we now see is they are always with the post production.
Many of them.
Many of them. So it was really wonderful talking to you, Dr. Simanta Kalita, and I thank you that you have taken your precious time to come and be a guest for my Pixel Narratives with ANUTOSH. I'm sure the viewers must have really understood how much effort someone has to put in to come to this level of excellence. So with that, we come to the end of today's episode of Pixel Narratives with ANUTOSH. In our next episode, we'll be again talking to another achiever who must have put in a lot of efforts in his life journey, and he'll be shared with us in another episode of Pixel Narratives with ANUTOSH. Till then, goodbye. Do take care.